All right, good morning, everybody. It is 9:17. Oh, I wish you guys were here with me. It's a bummer not having you guys with me. Anyway, if you have not finished that quiz, it's got to get in by Friday. Otherwise, it's going to turn to a 0, and that'd be terrible for your grades. So, and all the rest of you, great job. I'm proud of you. We're plugging along. The sooner everybody gets back together, the better, huh? Okay, so today we're talking about rational exponents. So we're talking about exponents that are fractions. So the exponent itself is a fraction, okay? So that's what the word rational means. A rational exponent is just simply an exponent with a fraction. So as an example, I get x to the 2/3 power. Okay, that's a fraction. So the word rational means fraction, okay? So it turns out that if we have some x to some fraction, so go p over q like that, okay? So it turns out that the bottom number is like the root and the top number is like the power. So we can rewrite this as q root of p of, of x, my bad. Darn it, where's my whiteout? Here it is. I made a mistake. I hate when I make mistakes. I'll show you what I mean. Let me fix my mistake. I'll show you what I mean. Root and then x to the power of p. Okay, so on this one, it means like the cube root of x squared, okay? Bottom number of the fraction is the root. Top number of the fraction is the power, okay? So that is radical form, and this is my exponential form. So my exponential form is my x to the p over q. That's my exponential because it has an exponent. And this is my radical form because it has a square root. Now radical means, the word radical, not radical dude, but radical means a root. Square root, cube root, but radical means root. So when you hear the word radical, so these are all new words. Radical means root, like square root or cube root. You can do a fourth root, whatever it would be, but the word radical means some kind of root. Exponential means exponent, so as the fraction. Okay, so let's take a look at example 1. Change to exponential form, okay? So all we're going to do is rewrite it. We're going to take 7, that's our base, 7 is our base, to the 2/3 power. Boom. Now if you want to do that on your calculator, you're going to get an ugly, ugly thing, but you can go 7 to the 2/3 power. Ugly, ugly, ugly number. Okay? That's it. Exponential form. Took this and it has an exponent. 2/3 has an exponent, okay? 2/3. Now this one's got invisible numbers, okay? It really does. The invisible numbers are hiding. And where are they hiding? Well, there's an invisible number here, 2 because it's called a square root, and there's a visible number there called a 1, okay? We don't normally write the 2 for a square root, but it is a 2, and anything number by itself has a power of 1. So we're going to rewrite this in exponential form. So we're going to go 5, that's my base, to the 1/2 power. So anytime you see the 1/2 power, I want you to think square root. You see anything with 1/2 power, I want you to remember that is a square root, okay? It's all brand new for you, okay, but we can do this. Okay, example 2. Oh, there it is, 1/2 power, square root. So now we're going to change it to radical form, right? It's one of those, okay? So my 2 goes here, and I get a 6 to the 1 power. Or just the square root of 6, right? Because my invisible numbers. Plus I told you that anytime you see the 1/2 power, it means just square root, okay? Okay, example 2. Okay, we want radical form, so I'm going to go put my radical down. Radical is just a fancy word, math word for root. I'm going to go my fourth root here. I'm going to go my -2 to the third power. Okay, so I changed it from exponential to radical. Radical means root. My bottom number is my root. My top number is my power. Okay, turn the page. Hopefully you're getting this, okay? Now this says evaluate, okay? Well, there's two things to do to evaluate. We either have to take a cube root or we have to square it, okay? What I'm going to do is first the cube root. Okay, what is the cube root of 27? Let's see. So what times what times what makes 27? I think it's 3. I think it's 3. So the cube root of 27 is 3. Because cube root of 27 is 3 because 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. So I've got 3. And don't forget the square. We're not done. So I took the cube root. I'm going to go 3 squared, which is 9. Okay, now some calculators will actually do this. Some will, okay? So on my calculator, I can actually go to the math button, and I got a cube root right there, okay? So on my calculator of 27 squared, and I end up with 9. Okay, I don't know if you can see that or not. There it is, 9. So depending on your calculator, you can do it, okay? But we can also do it using our brain. Okay, number 3, second example. Let's rewrite it. Let's rewrite it as the 5th root of 32 squared. Okay, I'm going to do the root first. It's just better to reduce it first. I want to do the root first, make it small instead of 32 squared. So then I'm thinking, okay, what is the 5th root of 32? Well, let's see. You ready? What times what times what times what times what? 5 of them makes 32. Well, it's got to be 2. Because I know 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32. So I know that the 5th root of 32 is 2. So I've got 2 to the second power because I haven't done the power. And then 2 squared is 4. So the answer is 4. Now, can your calculator do this? Sure, if you have a good calculator, you can actually get the answer by using your calculator. So let's see how that works. So if I go 32 to the power of 2/5 gives me 4. So if you have a good calculator, you can also let your calculator do it. Now here's the bummer. Example 4, you can't use a calculator because it's X's and Y's. So you got to use your brain. But I can do that. So I see, in a sense, 3 different parts to this. I see the cube root of 64, x to the 6th, and y to the -12. So I see 3 different parts. So let me break this up into the 3 different parts. So cube root 64, cube root x to the 6th, and cube root y to the -12. Okay? Let's do all 3 different parts. So I just broke it up, cube root of 64, cube root of x to the 6th, and cube root of y to the -12. Okay? So, cube root of 64. Now, you could use your calculator, but I know that 4 times 4 times 4. I know that 4 times 4 is 16 times 4 is 64. If you're not sure, just use your, hopefully you have a fancy calculator, just go to your math button, go cube root, maybe have one of these of 64, and sure enough I get 4. But I knew that because I'm smart, so are you. So I've got a 4 for that. Now, I'm going to take a third of this exponent because that's the same thing as a 1/3 power. So I'm going to take a third of this. So I'm going to divide by 3. Divide by 3, I'm going to get an x squared. I'm going to take a third of this because cube root is like a third. So, or I'm going to divide by 3. I'm going to get a y to the -4. I'll show you why that works. To the third, because that's my bottom number, right? Remember, my power, my root makes my -4. Same thing here. I'd have my x to the 6 power root 2. Okay, All right, that's why it is divide by 3, divide by 3. So then, finally, I'm going to fix that. So whenever I see a negative exponent, I think fraction line, right? And I'm going to bring it down. I'll bring my y to the 4th down to make it a positive exponent. And then I'm going to keep my 4x squared above. Okay, so that's what I have for today. You guys are going to have to look online to find out what the assignment is, and I'll talk to you Friday.